I said, dandelion, dandelion, that one's so pretty. She said, child, that one's not a flower, that one's just a weed. Hello, my name is Liz Ashley and welcome to my channel. We are going to be talking about Gabbie Hanna today. Yes. And I actually never really watched Gabbie Hanna. I didn't really know who she was until I listened to some of her songs on Spotify, Dandelion being one of them. I actually really like that song. But I listened to it a lot and I loved it. And I didn't really know who she was. I thought she was just like a musician. And boy, was I wrong. And it was funny because I actually had someone who I was like friends with online at that point message me because I think I used the lyrics in like a post or something, and they messaged me and were like, oh my god, I can't believe you like her music. Most people don't like her. And that totally just like went over my head. It's like, whoop. So yeah. And now we're going to be talking about her and her apology and her new comeback and how that's going. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Just thought that was funny on how I found out about Gabbie Hanna. So Gabbie Hanna made an apology video and I watched it this morning and it was wild, to literally say the least. Like, to say the least. It was so wild, like crazy. The beginning of her apology video, she just kind of is like, oh, I'm sorry to all the people that, and she doesn't really name specific people. She's like, oh, I'm sorry to all the people that I worked with. She doesn't specify anyone, right?
Or took advantage of them in any type of collaboration or work setting as well. Whether you helped me out with a project and didn't get your proper flowers or didn't pay you well or at all. I was selfish, only cared about how I could benefit.
And so she just goes, and it's kind of like a half-assed apology because literally it's not, I don't know. I don't even know if it's like half the video, maybe half the video. The second half I was not prepared for. The second half of this video I was not prepared for, because it certainly had nothing to do with an apology. That's for sure. But basically the first half is just her being like, I didn't deserve all these opportunities, which I don't know if I wouldn't say she didn't deserve it. I mean, at that point she was pretty big. I just think she didn't handle it well from what I've heard, but we're going to go into that lore in a second. And so she's just going into like how she's sorry for being hard to work with. She admits to being hard to work with, which, I mean, I guess that's good. But when you don't specify people, especially when there are specific people she should be apologizing to, it's like, okay, what do you like? Is this really an apology, or was this something just to make you feel better about yourself, And the second, okay, and so the first part, that's it, right? I'm sitting here, I'm watching this video, and like the first part of it, I'm like, okay, she's talking about, an apology. And then she goes, I literally, I'm not even joking. Like, I was like, what is happening right now? Like this is crazy. She literally was like, okay, well, I'm recording this on September 10th. Like, mind you, there's still like half of the video left, right? So I'm sitting here looking at this video like, hey, is this gonna be like a small portion? She's gonna get back to the apology? No. She literally is like, it is September 10th. Tomorrow is September 11th. I am going to do a prayer. And that prayer was like again, it took up like the second half of the video. I was not prepared for it. Also very, very random to me, I feel.
September 11th is tomorrow. I'm not sure if you guys are watching this or if I get this uploaded today the 10th or tomorrow the 11th. Either way, I want to say a quick prayer. As you know, God, it is almost the anniversary of September 11th, 2001, which shook America. Well, many of us remember where we were, what we were wearing.
Anyway, she spent like the first kind of part of the prayer on 9/11, and then the rest of the prayer was just like just didn't make any sense. And then she tried to get like political, and I'm just like, bro, oh my god. She's like, Jesus, make us one.
I pray that you raise up strong leaders. I pray that you knock the arrogant leaders of our world today to their knees. I pray that you shake them hard with revelation and the fear of God.
Everyone in the world, one of one body. And I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? Like, this is an apology video. This is an apology video. You went from, I kind of halfly apologize, to praying for 9/11 to just like praying for what? What is this video? Like, seriously, what is this video? I was not ready for how unhinged it was going to be. Again, I've never really watched Gabbie Hanna. I only listen to her music, but I've seen certain clips of her being unhinged. But when I saw this was like a different kind of unhinged to me, where I'm just like, why are you making these choices right now? Like, why are you making these, like, what kind of choice? Like, look, I make questionable choices all the time, okay? I'm not perfect by any means, but like, you edited this video. You watched this video. What is it? Because it doesn't make any sense if I don't understand what it is. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on that. Now let's get in. Sorry, I'm just still very shook from that. But let's get into the lore behind all of this stuff. So who is Gabbie Hanna? So Gabbie Hanna is a YouTuber, and she became a YouTuber back, well, she started on Vine. So she was one of the YouTubers that like started on Vine and then went on YouTube and then got really big, right? And it was like that first batch of like really big YouTubers, you know, with like Shane Dawson and what's his face, David Dobrik. I never watched any of these people. Logan Paul. I never watched any of these people, okay? And I think I said that in the Tana episode. I never watched any of this, right? I knew of these people, except for Gabbie Hanna. I had no idea who Gabbie Hanna was. But like, I knew of these people. I knew of Logan Paul. I knew of Shane Dawson, but I never watched their stuff. And so sometimes going back into those drama days is really funny for me, because I'm like, I grew up during this time, but I had no idea what was going on. So basically, Gabbie Hanna got really big, but she caused a lot of drama. She got notoriously, she got the label of like being hard to work with. And she's not just a YouTuber though. Like, once she got big, she started doing songs. She did a poem book. And that's going to be important. We're going to come back to that. And she did a TV show with YouTube Originals. And when she did that TV show with YouTube Originals, the cast that she had, like, she was working with other YouTubers. And so this show was called Escape the Night. It was a YouTube original, and it was like a real show that she did with other YouTubers. And a lot of other YouTubers, they would have different guests, and Gabbie Hanna would come on and she would a show that she did with all these different YouTubers. There was another YouTuber named Joey who kind of was like in charge, or was, you know, partly in charge, and also was in it. And Gabbie Hanna, after being on that show, came back and was like, oh, they made me fat. Like, they wouldn't listen to my dietary restrictions. There wasn't anything I could eat there, so I would go starving and blah, blah, blah. And now look, coming from someone who has dietary restrictions, you know, I understand when you go somewhere and there's not something for you to eat, it sucks. And I understand that. And like, luckily I have a lot of really good people in my life. And so, you know, they try to always make sure that there's options for me. But I have been in situations where there hasn't been a lot of options, and it does suck. It really does. But usually I just bring something. But anyway, that's beside the point. She like went off about this, right? She got very upset. And Joey actually like made a video and said Gabbie Hanna needs to stop. And he told his side of the story, and said that they went to Whole Foods and they got specific food for her and all this kind of stuff, and that she's just like lying. And so of course, like, in this apology video, she should be giving him an apology, because it came out that she probably lied. I think that was the common consensus. And then the next apology that she should give, or she should have given, is that there's this girl named Rachel Oates, and she is a YouTuber. I've seen her stuff before, and I've watched her before. She basically like does reviews, books, and different things. And so Gabbie Hanna sent her a poetry book when she created a poetry book for her to review on her YouTube. And she reviewed it. And Gabbie Hanna got upset because she was honest. She critiqued the poetry book. And Gabbie Hanna didn't like that she was critiquing it. And so she just like went off on Rachel Oates and started calling her all of these names, and was just like going like, you know, how YouTube is now, where you make videos about someone and then they make a video about you responding to you. And then she, you know, her fan base goes after Rachel Oates, and it's just like crazy. That's what happened. And so she also owes Rachel Oates an apology. So there are two people that like specifically she owed an apology to that she did not give an apology to. But she ended up having kind of like a breakdown online after that, which I have mental health issues. I'm trying to get diagnosed right now. It's a lot. It's expensive. I'm going to therapy. It's expensive. I mean, she had the resources, just saying. But it's an expensive endeavor. It is not an easy endeavor. It is hard. It takes a lot of effort to get your mental health in a good place, right? It really does. Or to get diagnosed or whatever. It really does. And I understand. I'm going through that right now. She was like kind of breaking down online. So then this random fan guy came to her house and she let him in and she hung out with him, and it was like really weird. And then she started taking all these videos with him, and then she kicked him out because she realized that like he was just this guy that was commenting that I bet I could get into her house, and it was crazy. Like it was crazy. And she kicked him out, and she filmed all of it, and she posted all of it, and a lot of people were rightly very worried about her and the situation that she was in. And so she took a break from being online for like a couple years, and she became like a Zumba instructor, I think, and she did a lot of things, and people were like really happy for her. Not too long ago, she came back to YouTube, and that's when like I was like, oh no, because a lot of people were like happy for her and excited. Maybe she's changed. She has for the better. No. So yeah, no. So before this apology video, she actually went to Oxford and had a talk. In that talk, she mentioned that, oh, this girl that just wanted all these followers. She's like, why would I listen to someone who's like a loser?
How did you feel about kind of the reaction to the book? Obviously, some people like loved it, and then also it was hard when it must be a very personal thing, right? To put poetry out, some of it was quite personal, right?
Yeah, the thing with me with that was just like the first 2 or 3 years it was out, like everybody was just like really digging it, and it was fine. But then it just kind of became trendy to use my name, and then like one girl went viral who like the actual critiques don't bother me that much, because like this kind of sounds so bitchy, but whatever. Like you have to be careful who you take your opinion from. Like you can say like you don't like my book, or you can like critique my literary style or whatever it is, but like I don't think you're interesting or intelligent or creative or artistic. So why the hell would I take your opinion? You're a loser.
And I'm like, what is going on? Why is she here? What is happening? And so this whole interview, this whole video shows that like she really hasn't changed all that much. And then secondly, she also has become very evangelical, right? But she basically is coming out with like Christian music now. She deleted some of her old videos that she didn't think were like Christian enough. And that's why in the video, like the second half of the video was just like a prayer.
It was just not a representation of myself. It was not a representation of Christ.
And she has been talking about like women and how they're wearing too that like, you know, what they're wearing is too, if they wear too little, like shouldn't they be aware of like other men or other people's, you know, boyfriends or husbands looking at them? Like why would you want to do that? And I'm like, first of all, that's crazy that I leave out the door that I should be thinking about other people's partners, being like, oh, I don't want other people's partners to look at me, so I'm just gonna like not wear what I want. Like why is that my responsibility? Like what are you saying right now? Like that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous for her to blame people who are wearing what they want to wear, blame people for showing too much skin. Like it's really ridiculous, honestly. And I don't think we should have to think about other people's partners. People should be able to be respectful no matter what you're wearing, no matter what you look like. People should be able to be respectful. That you're like, oh, well, I think people should cover up more so that way, you know, they don't have other people's partners looking at them and causing trouble. what? That's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy. So it's just kind of been wild. And I think this arc of her YouTube career is actually a little bit more problematic. Because, you know, I just think, what happens a lot in this sphere or on the internet is that when people want to come back, when people who have either done bad things or acted in a certain way, when they want to come back, I feel like they cling on to like either conservatism or evangelicalism, because I feel like they're like, oh, if I go all the way over here, people are going to accept me, whether I'm a bad person or not, whether I do bad things or not, as long as I say that I believe these things, as long as I say that like I'm with God or I believe in Jesus or Jesus, you know, whatever, then they won't care if I'm hard to work with. They won't care if I say this or I say that. They'll be okay with that. I think a lot of people online have been doing that a lot as they grift to the right, because they're like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about essentially being like a good person anymore. Like, I don't have to worry about, you know, caring what people think anymore, because as long as I'm with God or I have these values, then this audience will be okay. This audience won't care. And I think that's kind of what she's doing. Look, I don't know if she actually believes it. If I'm being real, I don't know. It kind of seems like an act a little bit. Because even just the way she was praying was so random and just weird, and I don't understand it at all. And I think she even had a video where she talked about how a lot of YouTubers or a lot of like ex-YouTubers have gone down this like evangelical like Christian path, and again, it's because you guys have lost relevance and now you're grifting to the right to try to regain that relevance. And it happens all the time. People do it all the time. And so I don't know if it's real. I don't know if she's pretending. I'm not sure if she's just like a grifter. I don't know, but I just know that like I'm not a fan of this new arc. And I mean, I've never really been like a fan. Like, I like her music. I like some of her music, but this new arc is like crazy. This new arc is wild to me. And I think that instead of clinging to religion, she may want to get like, I don't know, like actual like mental health help. And she may be getting that too. And if she's happy and she's doing great, then good for her. Some of her videos, I'm like, I don't see a change. I just see the change that now you're like, oh, well, I believe in Jesus and he's cleansing my soul and all this stuff.
My God, Jesus Christ, loved me and forgave me when I did not deserve it and before I even asked. So
you feel better about yourself, but like I don't see a change in attitude. I don't see a change in how she conducts herself. And so it's just kind of like, are you being real or are you not, you know? And so I don't know. I guess time will tell. But that's the video today. Thank you so much for watching. Comment what you think, I guess. Comment and let me know what you think's gonna happen. Yeah, that was the video. If you like this video, please press like on this video and comment and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by November. So if you could help me, that would be wonderful. All right, well, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.